movie.
Yes.
What?
The
Buddy the Elf.
movie was based on the book that was based on the movie.
Yeah.
I see.
I'm confused. I'm seriously confused right now.
Me too.
The movie Buddy the Elf.
Was it like
at the end of the movie you realize it was a storybook written about Buddy the Elf.
Oh.
Then a movie was made about the storybook that was written about Buddy the Elf. That was a movie. Yeah.
That Peter, whatever his name is.
Sounds like a loop.
Yeah. Well, when you're dealing with Santa Claus.
Am I gonna get out? Am I ever gonna get out of it?
No.
Oh shit.
See, Santa's an actual evil Time Lord, and people just don't realize it.
Oh, not evil.
Yeah, evil.
No, he's not evil. I know.
I agree.
He controls space and time, Steve.
Yeah.
It doesn't make him evil.
Fat ass down
really?
a chimney.
So let me ask you a question, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in life on other planets?
I believe in the possibility of life on other planets.
Intelligent life?
I believe in that possibility. Absolutely.
Do you believe somewhere on another planet, somewhere there might be a race of beings similar to ourselves in some ways?
I believe that's a distinct possibility.
Have you ever heard the story of Santa delivering toys to children on other fucking planets?
Yes.
Santa
defeats the Martians. There's a movie about it.
Santa defeated some Martians?
I concede to Steve.
Have you seen that movie?
No, but
Kiss did fight something at a carnival or something. I know that.
Look it up. I see. I don't.
I'm aware of the movie. I've never watched it though, but you have, so I have to concede the argument to you and trust that you're telling me the truth.
The children on Mars wanted presents, and the Martians.
So he went up there and hung out with John Carter.
No. I don't remember who he hung out with. He's a good buddy of mine.
Was it a Disney flick?
I'm going to defend Santa Claus because I know him.
What did Santa have to say about your Halloween?
What about it?
Did he voice an opinion or anything?
Steve Alcorn, welcome to Basu.
Whenever you're Steve the Elf helping out your good, close personal friend Santa Claus, and he says, "So Steve, for all your help, you can pick out anything from my workshop for your family." And you look him in the eyes and you say, "You know, Santa, I don't give out presents. My kids have turned 18. Santa's just like, "I completely understand."
He would, because he only gives presents to children as well. When have you heard of Santa giving presents to adults?
I get a present from Santa every year.
Yeah,
well, that's a fake Santa. That's not
what?
I'm talking to real Santa.
A fake Santa.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know there was such a thing, Steve. I'm very confused.
There will be. Hey, I'll tell you what. There will be photographs.
I thought there will be blood. Oh wait, that's something else.
That's Black Christmas.
Hmm.
Which I think they made.
We ready to start this thing there, gentlemen?
I am.
Okay. Let's do that. Ooh.
Once a week, 3 laddies come together from distant lands to talk about Bigfoot, Martians, ghosts, time travel, chupacabras, and the Sweetwater legend.
I think we're all huge fans of the Sweetwater legend.
This is the Fortean Slip with your host, Chris York.
Say no to Quaaludes? Fuck no. Wait a minute. No. Say yes.
Co-host, Steve Alcorn.
Like, take a break, shut my camera off,
Yeah.
sandwich.
And sometimes special guest, Matt Knapp.
Just accept it for what it is and just watch it and enjoy it.
They don't know who you are. They don't know what you want. If you're looking for entertainment, you may have come to the wrong podcast. But what they do have is a very particular set of skills.
There are no cows.
No cows.
No.
No cows were harmed in the making of this incident. We often wish that your relationship went much like that of the praying mantis.
I thought that was a reference to everything being green.
Yeah, sure you did. Carry on, gentlemen. I'm going to do something else for a little while.
Wow, Steve, would you like us to stop the program so you continue to do your shit?
You're about to witness the strength of creep knowledge.
Hello! I fucked that up at the end. And welcome to the Fortean Slip. This is episode 107? Something? 6? I don't fucking know anymore. I'm not seeing any comments, and I'm not seeing any live listeners.
There are live listeners. Richard Allen is in the chat room.
I'm not
Motorway
showing
Cosmo is in the chat room.
anything.
Jet Sex is in the chat room.
I'm not showing anything on my end.
Yours sucks.
I suck?
Your StreamYard sucks.
Steve.
Mine is working correctly.
Yeah, I can't see anything. Nothing tonight.
Sucks to be you.
Well, it's a good thing you can't,
Why?
because apparently Alcorn has his own little fan group
Oh,
that
yeah.
call themselves the Alcornians.
I just read that.
And they should all fucking.
I'd ask you to highlight that comment, but apparently you can't because you can't see them.
I can't see anything right now.
Way to go, Alcornians.
I can leave. I can try to leave and come back.
I'm going to make a t-shirt now. Official Alcornian
Alcornians?
fan club.
Yeah.
Would you buy it, Jet?
Yeah. Now I'm pissed off because I need to figure out how to get my fucking goddamn.
You could.
You don't need the chat.
Alternatively, what you could do is open the YouTube window.
Yeah, but then
do the
I'm
pop-up
not.
chat.
Then I'm not looking at this window, and I have it
Yeah,
normally
oh, that's
right
right.
here on the side, and it's fucking nice and easy, Steve. But no, not tonight.
I'll let you know what's going on.
Everything's fucked up. The last minute.
See, what they need to do is make it so that you can give other guests control. That way, I could highlight chats. For
I'm
you.
never giving you control. That's dangerous.
I'll have you know that I am a moderator for 4 or 5 other YouTube channels.
All right.
They decided to give me control.
Oh,
You have not.
you're right.
Of course, you've known me a lot longer
I have
than
not.
I have.
I have not and will not. Because I'm not stupid. Be like if I gave you the soundboard.
Mm.
Yeah, see?
I could
not
run my
gonna
own
happen.
soundboard.
You could.
Yes.
You could. And I could also just mute you and remove you from the fucking goddamn stream.
It's on my other computer right now, but it doesn't take much to put it over here.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks for the idea.
Steve, whatever you want to do, bud.
All right.
Whatever you want to do. Whatever
I'll just
makes you
play-
happy.
I'll play Barry Manilow tunes in the background. He wrote the songs.
The only acceptable song on this show is the Copacabana. That's it.
Yeah, I know.
That's all I'll accept.
So I was watching The Feud the other night.
The Feud.
Yeah. Family Feud.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And one of the top answers referred to privates, genitals.
Ooh.
And the writers of the show called it Harry Manilow.
They called it what?
Harry Manilow.
Harry Manilow.
Yeah.
That should be my new YouTube name. Like
Harry Manilow.
my fake account, you know, the troll account or something. I'm going to do that.
I had never heard Harry Manilow before.
I've never heard of that either.
Matt, did you see the meme that I posted, the Barry Manilow one on the like page?
No.
Where it's he's the Cobra Commander.
I gotta write this down.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
I got a kick out of that one. But yeah.
Harry.
Yeah. Keep going. Manilow. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. You good?
Oh yeah, I'll forget, and I don't like forgetting things, so I wrote it down.
You will forget. You're horrible. But you know that's all right, Steve. That's all right. I had to shut off my phone, Steve, because I was getting offers. So
I have not sold a thing all day. Not on eBay.
I'm sorry.
Let me check.
Oh,
I lied.
okay. So, Steve, did you were you able to check out the Color Out of Space trailer this week? Yeah, I'm gonna take that as a no. The rest of the show. Managed to check that out, I'm pretty sure. Katie, you saw it, right?
I don't recall anybody saying anything to me about it.
Steve, I always say things to you. They may go over your head. I don't know.
Maybe I didn't write it down.
H.P. Lovecraft, Nicolas Cage.
Color Out of Space?
Out of Space.
It should just be called Fuchsia.
Yes.
Got it.
Listen, motherfucker. How are they supposed?
I get it. I understand.
How are they supposed to describe a color that you can't describe?
I know.
Fuchsia works for me.
Because it is kind of pink, kind of purple, kind of both.
It works. I give him credit because I saw a thing where John Carpenter had wanted to do The Color Out of Space, but he was like, I don't know how you translate it. Like, I don't know how you make it work on screen.
I would have just not done a color and had the actors act like they were seeing a color.
Well, my thought when he said that was just do it like the fucking briefcase in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Never show it. Just show like a hue on them.
Yeah. And have it like changing or something.
Yeah. Which they kind of do with it.
Yeah.
But it looks horrific. It looks great.
But it was just initially, I just thought it was kind of funny because they chose that particular shade to go with for a color that can't be described. Like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, this will work. But I love the story. It's
Nick Cage is stepping his game up in these little independent horror flicks.
Oh yeah, like I was like fucking. I was Mr. Fucking Forget Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Like fuck him. Like what has he done? That was me.
And was that one like 7 hours in Tokyo or some crap he did?
Fucking Christ, some Bangkok bullshit.
Yeah, because like he like moved to Japan and like I'm just gonna make a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean everything he had done, the what was that one, the Season of the Witch, I think, and then that god awful remake of that horror movie, I can't remember it right now, where the bees,
Wicker Man.
the Wicker Man.
Yeah.
And just everything he had done for the longest time, I was just like, God, it's just so.
And it just kept going worse and worse and worse for him.
Yeah. And I saw the trailer for this and I was like, this is great. What's this, Steve? What are we looking at?
You wanted to see the chat.
Oh, so now I can watch the chat like live as it happens. There we go. Look at that. Steve, look at that. Look at what you did for me.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Oh, you don't have to leave it there, but I just thought you might want to see it.
No, I'll take a look at it. Look at that. We can keep the chat up for everybody. Everybody who can see the chat already can now see the chat. Right?
Yeah.
Good. Fuck them all. So yeah, I'm in with the whole new Nick Cage. His acting seems to be far more spot on, and there was a time that I enjoyed the stuff that he did. His early stuff's great.
Well, that last movie he did called Mandy, I think, got like great reviews.
Yep. And isn't that the people that are behind this one?
I think so. And
yeah, I
it's
think I
like,
saw that in the trailer.
I think it's the same people, and I'm wondering if it has something to do with the production house that's doing like that thing I told you about a while back. I can't think of their name, but they're also behind Jay and Silent Bob's new project, where it's like all fan owned. It's like a film company that's completely fan owned.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's another thing too, is some of these people like Kevin Smith are realizing that they don't have to do the old studio model, which is great. And then they can tour these movies around the country and charge big ticket prices, not like movie ticket prices. I'm talking like big ticket prices.
Yeah.
They sit and basically watch the movie with you and then do a Q&A afterwards.
Yeah.
And he will make, very good money off the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, regardless of the studio, what he makes in the theaters or off DVD sales or whatever, because of that tour. And that's crazy good for the movie industry as far as I'm concerned.
Well, something needs to be done.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. It's ugh. But the Nick Cage stuff, I agree with you. He's definitely stepped up his game, and I'm looking forward to it. Very, very much am I looking forward to Color Out of Space. So, but yeah, I before the show I had mentioned, because I got into it with some fucking douchebag on the like page about posting stuff, and then a guy from the UK who has a like page said, hey man, I get that it's your page and all that, but from a fellow page owner, you shouldn't treat your people that way. And I'm like, dude, do me the favor of going and listening to one of my shows and reassessing that comment. No, listen, if you don't like what's on the like page, I'm sorry. I'm not placating to you. I'm not going to change it around. I'm not going to stop posting Jeffrey Epstein memes. Fuck you.
They're fun.
The whole idea is that I love a joke that doesn't fucking end.
You asked me what I was watching prior to that, because I was watching some news clips. Some kid in Alabama, I guess Donald Trump went to the LSU Alabama game, and so they were interviewing students prior to the game. This student, they interview him, and he's saying normal things, and all of a sudden, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, and he just keeps going. That's what I was watching. Because, like you, I love those. I mean, I
love it when they get me. Like, I posted the one today with the freaking igloo. It got me. I looked at it and I started reading it because I was like, oh, cool, an igloo, and I start reading the little information blip underneath it, and I'm fucking like, God damn it, they fucking got. So I posted it. And these fuckheads, it's like, no. If you have a problem with something, you don't like it, or you have issue, like, if I don't like a like page or a show or a YouTube channel, I just leave. I just stop. If you don't like something, it's like hitting yourself in the head with a fucking hammer, you morons. It feels better when you stop. So just stop. Stop listening. Stop coming to the fucking page. I don't give a fuck. If you enjoy it, then stay.
The real chat is different.
That should be a promo. Stop listening.
It's going into the new intro. Your host, Chris York. Stop listening.
Like, fuck you. But seriously, man, seriously, like you put out more content than anybody I know. And I'm a page owner that doesn't do shit. I know lots of page owners. I know huge pages, and you're like beating them in the amount of content you put out. But with any page, you can be as wonderful as you want. But if you post one single thing that somebody just doesn't like, you know what? That I didn't find that funny. Then here they come. They never fucking hit you up and say, "Hey, Chris, I just want to let you know I'm really enjoying the page. Great job."
Yeah.
You don't get any of those messages. You only get that one fucking message. We're like, you're a piece of shit.
you do, and it is, you do get those messages. There are people who say, "Hey, I love the page," whatever. They are far and few fucking between.
Yes.
But by and large, people just come in, they like. A lot of the people will make a comment where they'll tag someone so that they can see the fucking meme or the picture or whatever, you know. And it's just, if you don't like it, just fucking go. I don't have a problem with that. You're not gonna. It doesn't. You didn't spank me and take away my fucking birthday.
No.
I'm gonna get up the next day.
And it's social media.
Post more shit.
It's social media. If you're on social media on a regular basis, like I think it's safe to say we all are.
Yeah.
Every day you're going to see something that you don't like. So fucking what? It's just part of it. If you sign off social media and just go insert yourself into the real world, guess what? You're going to see shit you don't like out there too.
Yeah. And I'll bet you're going to hear somebody say that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty fucking sure. Even if you're not on the internet, you're gonna hear it.
You're gonna run across it somewhere.
And for the record, you should.
It probably won't be at Starbucks, but somewhere.
Somewhere. No, you probably should fucking hear about it. You know, it's more blatantly obvious that the guy didn't fucking kill himself.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, the more and more they go down this rabbit hole, it seems like there was just a big fucking smoke screen so that it blows over.
And I don't think any of us are going to say who we believe killed Jeffrey Epstein, but it's clear that he didn't kill himself.
No, I'm not.
I'll say who I believe did it. Somebody other than Jeffrey Epstein.
Right. It's pretty clear that
there's no fucking way to know.
Listen. It does, at this point, it doesn't. The finger, like I said to Steve the other day, the finger pointing doesn't matter. What matters is investigate the fucking crime.
Right.
Yeah. Actually investigate it.
Yeah. Don't fucking sit around and say, "Oh, investigate the goddamn fucking crime."
But they didn't.
No, and now they're behind the fucking 8 ball.
So
because
like
that's
everybody
what they wanted.
Everybody killed Jeffrey Epstein at that point. You know.
Yeah. Everybody had a hand in it. By the end of it, fucking it'll be so awash with bullshit.
But what's really going to be fucked up is if somewhere we have access to like the records of the universe, and we turn the page and like, I'll be damned, he did do it. The entire fucking planet was wrong.
Fuck. But I love how like people are like, nobody gives a fuck about that goddamn pedophile. Okay, yes.
That crime should have also been investigated.
Yes, the guy was okay. There's a great amount of indication. I'm going to say indication that the man was a pedophile. Okay, and that he had high-profile people along with him on these little pedophile excursions. So you seriously think, as an American citizen, that this should not be investigated at all? We should just forget about it. He killed himself. Fuck it. We should forget about it.
Well,
Really?
let's just make something clear. This wasn't a mob with pitchforks and torches that came and got him.
Right.
This was somebody covering up their own shit.
Yeah, this was done like fucking espionage shit.
Yeah, this wasn't done because, man, he's a pedophile. He's a piece of shit. This was done because he's a pedophile and he's going to tell the world that I am too.
Yeah. He wasn't dragged to the town square and stoned.
No.
Or hung. You know, he was killed in secret. Because
it's clear that it was known well before he was even investigated at all. I mean, there was news stories that were quashed because, and that's proven fact. I mean,
the news that came out this week about the ABC stuff.
If you were on the fence about Jeffrey Epstein killing himself, that should have put you over the fence right there.
Yeah, I don't get people, and I don't get the people who are like, people need to shut the fuck up about this. No, people need to not shut the fuck up about this at all. The fact that you want to quash it makes me fucking skeptical of you. You know, like I said, when I was going back and forth with the son of a bitch, I missed, you know, because he said that, you know, all those wankers over in friggin' the UK who you know, they can't keep their hands off little girls and little boys. And I was like, yeah, I missed the fucking sign in America that said, "Welcome to America. Our pedophiles open in the fucking public. You know, operate in the public. You fucking idiot."
Yeah. Bearded picker comes through again. Just like Christmas ornaments, Epstein didn't hang himself.
Exactly. Fucking Christ.
Yeah,
but the funny thing is this guy on the like page probably won't ever hear this. But for anybody, you know, for me to make it clear, things aren't going to change on there. I'm not going to kowtow to anybody. It's a community, and by and large, everybody loves the goddamn things. I mean, every time I post an Epstein meme, it gets like friggin' 200 likes. So how am I failing, you fucking idiot?
I don't know. I'm excited to see them now. I used to hate when they first started coming out. I'm like every other fucking meme, but now it's like people hide it in the coolest places.
Right, like I said, the
awesome.
igloo one got me today.
There was one with a bunch of letters spread out over the floor, and some mom posted it and said, "My kid finally learned how to spell," and they circled cat, dog, cow, or something like that. But on the side, it said Epstein didn't kill himself. It took me like 5 minutes to see it. It was great.
Yeah. And I mean, if you can't appreciate it, then sorry. Don't know what to fucking tell you.
Have you seen a Bearded Picker's fond of the Mike Tyson one? Have you seen that one?
No.
Epstein
didn't kill himself.
Yeah, I like a good Tyson meme.
Oh shit.
Tyson shit. I loved it when they came out put out that like insane amount of weed that they smoke.
When I went to the dispensary with Mr. Picker,
yeah,
his stuff was in there. His brand was in there.
Oh, the Mike Tyson brand.
Oh my God, there was a ton of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they don't fuck around, Steve. I mean,
did you see the interview? I think it was on Howard Stern with Snoop Dogg and Seth Rogen, as I call him.
No.
Where Snoop Dogg literally pays a guy to be his official blunt roller.
Oh yeah, no, I'd heard about that. Yes,
pays him like $50,000 a year just to roll weed for him.
Yeah,
everywhere he goes, he follows him around. You know, everywhere he goes on tour, any appearance, and just part of his entourage, and gets paid to roll his weed for him.
I have to address a comment in the chat that says I didn't think this was a political show. What does some dude that didn't kill himself have to do with politics? That is not political at all.
There's no political line here.
Yeah, there's no political line. And okay, let's back up just a minute, Colonel. And the only way I'll even accept that you're the Colonel is if you're the Colonel from Boogie Nights.
I
Colonel.
want the chicken. But
Anyway, this whole idea of Epstein being murdered or hanging himself started out as a conspiracy. There, the Colonel.
And we talk about conspiracies and stuff on this show.
On this fucking show. This is not being turned into a political discussion about whether it was a Republican thing or a Democrat thing.
I haven't even said yet that I think Hillary snuck into his jail cell and
thing.
Yeah, Hillary lugged him up there.
Yeah. I'm sure she couldn't make it without passing out. I mean, come on. Just it's a fucking story.
It has nothing to do with politics.
It's
a story. I hate it when people are like, move on with the show. It's a fucking big story right now.
And it's a conspiracy. Did he kill himself? Yeah. Didn't he kill himself?
That's all we're talking about. What'd I say? It should be fucking investigated. Period. That's it. Is that a huge problem? How did I politicize that, Colonel?
It's clear to me that Epstein, when he was living and being pedophiliac, whatever that's called, was involved with both political parties, if I remember correctly. He had people on both sides. So,
but they're also saying, especially Americans are saying the UK is behind it, which is neither political party.
No,
it's actually another country.
Listen,
so it's all over the place.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is that whoever is behind it, they're fucking pedophiles. So it should be fucking dealt with. It should be investigated.
Or were paid by pedophiles.
Right. I got kids. I don't know what to fucking tell you people. It's an issue.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to pay me to cover up a pedophile's crime, I don't have a price.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. There is no price that they can pay me. Period. But for the people to think that this is something that we should just be let's move on. Let's move on. No, let's not. Let's park our asses right here. That's exactly what everybody should do. Until we know what the fuck happened.
Which we likely never will.
Right.
That's the sad part of it.
Right. Because in the end, because so much smoke and mirrors have been thrown our way and so much misdirection, by the time it's all fucking said and done, we won't know shit. We won't know shit. Thanks.
Which is how conspiracies happen. That's how the government covers shit up. Misdirection in all different ways.
Yep.
Where you're just standing there spouting off a bunch of shit that sounds stupid.
I don't want to hear about this goddamn Jeffrey Epstein. I want to just post my pictures of meat. Never seen so many pictures of cuts of meat on a man's fucking Facebook page as I did his. Wow, that man loved the meat case at the grocery store. I don't know. I've never had such a love of poultry and
He's weird. A connoisseur.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
You looked, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't get to make a claim like that to me and me not go look.
I'm just like,
wait, whoa.
Some things are meant to remain mysteries.
What?
What the fuck?
The Colonel's latest comment.
Some things are meant to be.
All right.
mysteries.
He's
So,
gotta be a
so that
troll.
makes me
Gotta be.
believe that the Colonel is the Colonel from Boogie Nights.
I mean, yes.
If you
In
could
the sense of
you
things,
could end
like-
yourself in the same way.
Like
be great.
I would agree with that in certain subjects. Like, okay, yeah, well, that's just meant to be left alone. This is not one of those times.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No. This is definitely not one of those times.
Lord.
But if I ever commit a crime, I'll remember to tell the judge that, like, hey,
Some things are meant to remain mysteries, Judge. I don't know what to tell you.
So the guy or lady who actually did end Epstein's life can get off with the charge just by saying that. It would be great.
yeah.
So, it's meant to remain a mystery. That's it.
Yeah. Scooby and the gang just shrug their shoulders and walk off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Oh yeah, I've seen there is a Scooby meme for that too.
For what?
For the Jeffrey Epstein thing.
Epstein shit?
Yeah. There's a meme. There's like every meme that's ever been made has been remade into that.
Good, Steve. Talk to the people about that for a minute because my bladder is going to make it through the whole show.
Why didn't you just go before the show?
I'll be right back.
I did.
I don't want to hear it.
I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to sit here in silence. Fuck it. I can't do it.
The chat is hopping tonight.
There you go. Thank you, Katie. Oh. Yeah, but the StreamYard chat sucks tonight. It's not working correctly. Oh, wait. Let me read some chat comments. Steve, you rock. That's a good one. Thank you, Jet Sex. Let me see if there's anything else up here that mentions how good I am. Well, there was one way at the beginning. Alcornians are waiting for the talent to go live. Thank you. Jet Sex again.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. What did I miss?
Well, you left Steve in charge, so nothing.
Yeah, I'm good.
I was reading the chat about how much people like me.
Oh.
Yes. Especially Jet Sex, whoever that is.
He likes you?
No, apparently.
It's you on your fucking phone, you troll.
Yeah.
No, I already told you that my troll account is now Harry Manilow.
Harry Manilow. You didn't go with the Mitt Romney.
It's going to be Harry Manilow.
What was Mitt Romney's? I can't even fucking remember now.
Stephen Christensen says that I'm his role model. I don't know what that is.
He even changed his name.
That's right.
Yeah.
Follow you.
Yeah.
I should be everybody's role model.
You should be.
Yeah.
I think you should strive to be everybody's role model. I think you should. You're a perfect role model.
Oh, model. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. I'm not a good role model. Don't even look. Not me.
All right. So there was another trailer I actually saw. Matt, did you catch the Mandela Effect trailer?
No, right before the show, I saw it posted and didn't have time to stop.
That
it was weird. Like I saw like what looked like a picture of a chick and her face looked like an audio diffuser.
Yeah. It looks very, very interesting. It looks like they're going down this is a simulation.
Oh boy.
So, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm all in. So I had posted it on the like page. Sorry if I offended anybody with that. Oh
You
God.
probably did.
Oh Jesus.
Did you post it more than once?
No, just the one, Steve.
You should be all right.
All right. But I saw that and I checked the trailer. It really it really looks kind of interesting. It's not one of those ones where I'm like, ooh, I'm all in, but I'm like, it's totally in my wheelhouse of stuff I would sit down and watch. And hopefully I'll be more pleasantly surprised by not having too many expectations about it.
Well, that works sometimes. I mean, I've seen a lot of movies in that scenario.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Glass. Everybody had told me that Glass was not that good. And I sat down and watched it, and I was like, that's fucking incredible. I loved it. Loved the way it ended. Loved the way it progressed. Why do people have a problem with that?
I don't know.
I'm still to this day baffled about Glass.
In my opinion, M. Night is like a Facebook page. Like, you never hear how he did all these wonderful movies. You only hear about Avatar. Like,
yeah, that's true. They beat the shit out of him about Avatar and The Happening.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought The Happening was good. I can't say that the acting was great.
I wasn't a huge fan of The Happening. That one I can beat on him a little bit for that one.
I thought random people just suddenly killing themselves was a cool thing.
It was interesting.
I mean, it didn't work for Jeffrey Epstein, but
nope.
There's some
did anybody check his cell for a plant?
There's some dating going on in the. Oh wow! Look at that in the chat. Care Bear, Skin Rug, and Steven Christensen are hooking up in the chat. Look at that stuff.
Gabby'd let anybody eat her pussy.
Jesus.
Oh man, it's crazy.
God almighty, Steve. She's not far from you.
I'm taken.
I am not going to speculate what the number 144 means.
Yeah. I don't need to know. I don't need to know.
Go ahead. Carry on. I thought it was nice that,
No, hey, if you can score yourself 19-year-old Steven Christensen, have at. I'm all for it. Rock on, Gabby. But yeah, to the topic of the evening, gentlemen. Seeing as how we talked about a meteorite that fell to Earth and made people see a color. It's a color, Steve. But it burns. You didn't even watch the trailer, did you, Steve?
I didn't even know I was supposed to.
You could have.
Uh-oh.
What do you want about?
Steven just friended Gabby.
Okay, ignore the chat now, Steve. Come on.
Yeah, just leave it alone.
Chat time's over.
If they're close together in geographic area, he's going to be face deep in Gabby pussy by the end of the evening. So it's fine, Steve.
But he just said, I'd rather just be a friend.
Listen, she wants her swollen clit in his mouth. That's all she wants.
Okay.
So just let it happen. It'll be fine. We can talk about something else.
All right.
Okay?
Please do.
Yeah.
Please. Talk
about I don't want to hear about Gabby and her. Yeah, I don't want to hear about any of that.
The Kecksburg UFO incident. This is actually one of my more favorite UFO mysteries, whatever you want to call it. I love the time travel episode on Ancient Aliens. Is that the one that got you sucked in, Katie?
It definitely took me in a different direction.
Was it the time travel episode that they did on Ancient Aliens that you saw about the
No
UFO?
Well, it was kind of about that. It was, I think, aliens in the Third Reich or something, and it was about Hitler's experiment.
Yeah. They go into Die Glocke with that too.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, there's all kinds of speculation about this, but anyway, So, in the late afternoon on December 9th, 1965, a fireball streaks across the sky over Ontario and 6 U.S. states. Sonic booms were reported, hot metal debris landed in Michigan, and grass fires were started in its path. It did not take one straight path across the sky, but was seen making sharp turns and changing directions multiple times. It eventually landed in some woods in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. A boy who lived nearby, named Steve Alcorn, reported seeing it, stating that it came in rather slow and controlled. It put off a bright blue light in the woods. Ooh, I didn't know there was a bright blue light. The boy ran to the house to tell his mother, who said that she didn't hear or see it land, but she did see blue smoke coming from the woods. She called the authorities, who put her in touch with the FBI. Within hours, the property was swarmed with military. Before those authorities arrived, though, the local volunteer fire department had responded to the many reports and expected to find a downed airplane. They went into the woods to investigate and found a large metallic acorn-shaped object. It was about the size of a Volkswagen Beetle and completely intact. The bottom rim of it had an inscription of some kind, resembling ancient hieroglyphics. Nothing about it seemed like any kind of aircraft or man-made craft they had ever seen. Soon the military pushed all the local authorities and spectators away and quarantined the area. They worked in the cover of night, reportedly hauling away the alleged object on a flatbed truck. By morning, local newspapers boldly stated that a UFO had crash-landed. We've heard that one before. Authorities quickly countered that. Their investigation turned up absolutely nothing, but all the witnesses and the hype from the newspaper kept the curiosity alive. Eventually, the Air Force pushed the explanation that it was a meteor. What do you gentlemen think? Steve's on his phone.
The Germans.
The Germans. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, because it resembles the Nazi bell.
Yeah, the acorn
Die
thing.
Glock project. There are people who made a speculation that the Germans back in the 40s had mastered time travel, or maybe fucked up and found time travel. And that this thing that appeared in 1965 was the Nazi bell.
Okay.
That's what some people say. I'm not saying I subscribe to that exactly. I'm just saying that it's interesting. Because Die Glock or the Nazi bell look very similar to this acorn-shaped object. So it's an interesting theory. I don't know as I would go straight to, the Nazis, they conquered time travel, or maybe accidentally.
Yeah, I don't think time travel would have been involved.
I don't think it had anything to do with it. I think it's pure coincidence that the Nazi bell and the Kecksburg UFO look similar.
Yeah.
I think it's pure coincidence.
I also think there's a possibility that the acorn-shaped object that they found was not the total wreckage of whatever was flying through the air.
I agree with you.
Blue smoke usually indicates an oil fire.
And hot too, right?
Yeah.
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 So
however,
I wonder if a good portion of it burned up,
right?
Coming in, and then the rest of it went in the explosion when it hit the ground. And it's curious that this one little thing survived. What was it?
Yeah.
Is it something similar or akin to like a black box or something?
But like whenever they find that stuff, like, okay, so they put it in storage somewhere. Like, where is it?
Yeah. Where is it?
Why didn't somebody go look and find out?
Where is the fucking Kecksburg UFO?
I'm back.
Yeah. Thanks.
That was an important phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything all right?
Yeah, it's my son. No.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah. You know how that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Carry on.
But yeah, I have the same questions, Matt. Like, where is the fucking thing? They didn't destroy it.
Right. It's kind of like the Roswell stuff. And I'm sure somebody, possibly Dean Cooper, will answer this. But like, so you have these accounts of like finding debris and stuff. The military, whenever they investigate something, doesn't just throw that shit away. It
No,
gets
it's
put in a
somewhere.
box and filed off somewhere.
Yeah, it's in that fucking warehouse with all the stuff from Indiana Jones, Matt.
Yeah, well, I know that, but where's the warehouse?
Is it Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, that's Steve's got it. I think
Well,
you might be right.
because Wright-Patterson isn't that far from Kecksburg, geographically. And that's where all the, back in those days, that's where a lot of that stuff went to.
Well, there's
So
a lot
does
of
that
people.
stuff get labeled as like top secret and classified? Because why wouldn't somebody just be able to like look it up and go open the crate and have a look at it? Dean Cooper doesn't give a crap about Kecksburg, so
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit about Kecksburg.
screw Kecksburg.
Fuck Kecksburg, and fuck Dean Cooper.
There you go.
You know.
Well,
I just like that this thing is shaped. It had such an interesting shape. Okay, it's shaped like an acorn, and it's got these hieroglyphics all around the base of it that we don't know what it is, or or it's just, it's some language that they didn't understand, or whatever. What was the fucking thing? And especially at this point, it happened in 1965. If it had something to do with like military shit, like just fucking tell us at this point. If not, then why don't we know that they're letting out this goddamn shit about the Tic Tac UFO? We can't know about Kecksburg?
In the official files, nothing was recovered.
Nothing.
So
files.
If you say nothing was recovered, then there's nothing to look for, right? So if there is some sort of quote unquote government cover up going on, it's easier for them to say nothing was recovered.
That people saw this thing, and then now there's nothing.
It was definitely seen. I interviewed a guy. I actually used to work with a guy who saw it. Now he didn't see it in Kecksburg. It traveled quite a ways before it crashed in Kecksburg, whatever.
Right. Well, they said that people saw it from Ontario and over like 6 U.S. states.
So in Pennsylvania, where I live, it came across like Erie, PA, and I talked to a guy who saw it, and he described it to me what it looked like in the sky. I can't remember the details because it was a few years ago, but so it was clearly seen by thousands and thousands of people before it crashed. So I mean, it's not like something didn't hit the ground there, and they just, when they did the investigation, the military, there was a lot of military dudes there, lots of them. So they didn't just investigate nothing.
Right.
I mean,
well, see, another aspect is without wings or some way to keep some sort of semblance of flight going, that's a lot of space traveled. That's some like serious velocity.
Oh yeah.
Like far beyond what like an airplane would do. An airplane that crashes in the airspace over Canada doesn't hit in the United States unless it's like at the border, and that's with wings and built to fly and everything. This would have had to have like either surpassed our flight capabilities or came from like outer space, one way or the other, to have like that sort of like momentum and velocity.
Well, the other thing that's interesting is that it kind of looks like a return capsule.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like the shape is definitely, kind of designed for like pressure situations, like either underwater or out in space where you have to, pressurize the cabins and everything. At least the shape.
Right.
So I say if it's some sort of thing like that and not just like, I don't have an answer for this one, because like at first I was thinking like I'm part of a motor or something, that fell off of something else, but like to
But
cover
what
that
they-
amount of
yeah.
space, there's just nothing that could have done that.
And nothing was reported to have fallen apart in the sky because the rest of it would have crashed somewhere else.
Well, okay, so there's some theories on this. One of the theories is that it was a meteor. And on the surface of the story, a meteor does seem like the most likely explanation, but it is disproved by the fact that it changed directions in the sky multiple times and that it came to its landing in a controlled manner, which we were just discussing. A downed Russian satellite. In 2005, NASA released a statement that the fireball everyone saw was a damaged Russian satellite called Cosmos 96, crashing back into the atmosphere. This has since been disproved by experts studying the known landing spot of this specific satellite. It landed in Canada several hours before the Kecksburg reports. Good old NASA.
And the flight path of that was different. The people who claim to have seen it, obviously you wouldn't see it from Kecksburg.
Right.
It's pretty far south into PA. I mean, you wouldn't have seen it in PA at all.
A U.S.
landed in
spy craft.
That was
Excuse me.
spying on Canada.
Modern day theorists suspect the object was an American craft launched from Johnston Island in the Pacific, launched with the purpose of spying on Russia, but failed and crashed there in Kecksburg.
Failed pretty damn bad.
Yeah, you're a bit off course there, bub.
Missed your mark there, buddy.
Re-entry vehicle from missiles. In 1991, the government released documents from that time in the 60s discussing an advanced re-entry vehicle from their missiles called the GE Mark II re-entry vehicle. It was located at the nose of the missile. It had 4 control jets, which would explain the controlled turning descent that witnesses described. It was known to have an atomic generator, which would explain the authorities' rush to get people away from the scene and get it removed right away. In fact, the mother of the boy who saw the landing stated that the first men who responded to the reports told her they were concerned with radiation.
That one has some merit, maybe.
That one I might, yeah, give a little. The Nazi bell, which we've talked about.
So what was okay? Back to the missile.
Yep.
What?
In 1991, the government released documents from the 60s discussing an advanced re-entry vehicle from their missiles called the GE Mark II re-entry vehicle. It was located at the nose of the missile, and it had 4 control jets, which explained the controlled descent, turning and descent.
Right. I'm getting all of that. I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's something I would just have to read on. I don't like.
Right.
Typically, if it's attached to a missile, it's expected to explode.
Yeah, why would they need a re-entry device on a missile?
Yeah, I don't understand what
unless it was. You said it had atomic capabilities or something.
Yes, it was known to have an atomic generator.
What does that?
Which explained why the authorities wanted to get people away from the scene.
An atomic generator, would that generate the power for the missile? Is that what? Maybe that's why they would want to recover.
It didn't go into that.
And they didn't. Whenever they released these documents, they didn't say, and that's what this was.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Nazi bell, which we talked about, and people say aliens. So I don't know. I'd say if there is any merit to that GE Mark II reentry vehicle, that's fairly probable.
Yeah.
If there's any merit to it,
that's definitely at the top of the list.
I mean, go ahead, Steve.
It makes more sense than some of the other theories. Obviously, not a meteor. Obviously, probably not aliens. But I can buy, some sort of military item that they didn't want us to know about at the time. But why not now? Why wouldn't they tell us now?
Well, that's the thing, and that's why I say it's like it was 65. Like at this point, like
we know about the GE Mark II.
Something was recovered. Yeah. We know something was recovered. For the love of God, just give people a little peace of mind.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I'll tell you, when the government came out and said, yeah, that UFO footage that just came out, the Tic Tac, that's real. And we didn't mean for that to come out, but it's real. When they actually came out and said it was real, I was like, what? Really? Cool. Really? Like, just fucking tell us. Like, do you really think we're going to fucking lose our shit? The world's going to crumble?
Did it crumble when they came out with that? No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's like, oh, wait a minute. What? Wait, Tom DeLonge was right?
Yeah. That's the most shocking. Yeah, that's the most shocking part of the whole thing.
So I just read up on the GE Mark II.
Okay.
And now I understand. So this thing was designed for intercontinental ballistic missiles,
right?
Nuclear warheads, and carries the warhead out of the atmosphere and back into it before it hits its target. And it is kind of shaped like an acorn. However, where would it have launched from? Why was it launched? And if we made it, right, but that typically happens out in the ocean whenever we jack around with that sort of thing.
Yeah, but there's always the possibility that they could have fucked up on the reentry with it.
Yeah.
Possibility. There's always that. You remember, the story of the missile that fucking wound up like shooting way off course and winding up in Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, weird shit happens. And it may not have anything to do with anything supernatural or, aliens or whatever the case may be, but weird shit, strange shit does happen. So for something like that to wind up falling into the ocean, I can buy that. I mean, falling off course and not landing in the ocean, I can buy that way more. But still, there's all kinds of questions about it. Why are they so fucking secretive about it?
Right. And if that's what it was, I mean, they've already come out and talked about it. So why wouldn't they just say, and that's what this was?
Yeah.
This is what happened.
I mean, same thing with like we were talking about with them having this stuff. They recovered shit. Roswell here. Why not just bring the shit out? This is what we have. Here it is.
I mean, just think of Smithsonian, like opened a wing of like, here's all the weird shit from these famous instances.
Do you know how
popular
big that would be?
Oh my God.
Huge. I mean, look at how many people go to these conferences and just the stupid shit, or movies about UFOs and aliens. How many people watch documentaries about this shit? You put something like that in the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee you people will be going to see that. People that normally wouldn't will go to see it.
Historic Route 66 runs through my city, like a few blocks from here, as a matter of fact. We call it 11th Street, but and The Outsiders was filmed here. And recently, a member of the rap group House of Pain, you all might remember if you're old enough.
Mm-hmm.
One of the members of that group actually purchased the house from the movie and restored it and kind of turned it into a mini museum. And people from all over the world come here to see that house from the movie The Outsiders, because it was a big American film. This is what a cool American looks like at the time. And to see historic Route 66 that they've heard about, America's Highway or whatever. If you had a display like that set up in the Smithsonian, like it would be a global market.
Oh, yeah.
Like people from all over the world would come here to see that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you wouldn't even have to like admit to what it was, just put it on display for people to see.
Put the stuff up on display, make a whole fucking section.
Yeah.
Do a thing on what was the one down in Texas? The shit hit the windmill.
Oh yeah. Aurora.
Yes. the Aurora, Texas. Put up the fucking newspaper clippings, all that shit. Just put it all together.
Yeah.
And making it exhibit, people would go crazy about it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And I don't, like I said, I don't get why they just won't come clean with this stuff like this. This is stupid.
I can't imagine that obviously there's some things that are meant to stay secret, just like, the Colonel said earlier, and usually that comes to, military secrets and things like that. But what the hell could they keep secret from the 60s that would be beneficial to them to still keep secret today? That's what I don't get.
Aliens infiltrating and living among us?
Yeah, I mean, that's why the theories are there, because people will go to the weirdest explanation.
I mean, should we go to pod people? I mean, right out the gate? Is that where we should go? Fucking. I don't think so. I personally don't think so.
I'm just saying, with the UFO hype that you're talking about, the Tom DeLonge stuff, them coming out and saying, yep, UFOs are real. I don't even think the public has grasped that yet. I don't think the public has really embraced the fact that the United States government has said UFOs are real.
Yeah. And I think you're right. And I think the reason I agree with you is because it was just like, oh, it's another day. On to the next story.
Yeah.
That's the way it was. It was really odd the way they presented it. It was just like, oh, yeah. Because I remember you messaged me and you were like, dude, Fox News is doing stories about a UFO. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
And
it was on Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Which I'm not here to promote Tucker Carlson or anything. I'm just saying, like, that's pretty much Fox's go-to guy.
So we all know what Matt watches at night now.
I do not. I saw it on Google. Okay, Rachel Maddow. No, I'm just saying, like, that's like their most watched show or whatever in the primetime spot. And that's the show that they put on a story about UFOs being real.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right.
Everywhere.
Nobody made a big deal out of it on the media. They're just like, isn't this weird? The government says UFOs are real.
Well,
President Trump.
They did make a kind of a big deal out of it because everybody talked about it. But it was very much like, oh, well, on to the next story.
Well, yeah, but a squirrel on water skis got put all over they share stories. So, like, it wasn't something out of there was no breaking news, shows being interrupted. Like, the United States government has admitted UFOs are real and this is a real video. Like, none of that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't War of the Worlds or anything. And it's just kind of weird that they'll do that. But yet, here we're discussing something from the 60s. You've got Roswell, you got all these events that have already happened where they're still just like refusing to talk about them.
Yeah.
Like, just let it go already.
Yeah. Like, this whole national security thing only goes so fucking far.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe they just don't want to admit that they lied to us. I mean, I'm going to guess that's the whole thing, because why else would they?
But saying that UFOs are real is already admitting that they lied to us.
Well, no, not necessarily. I don't think Roswell was a legit UFO. I think it was some sort of.
No, what he means is by them coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, shit, that video is real," and we didn't mean for that to come out.
They didn't say UFOs are real.
No, they said the video is real. And if
they said
and I'll tell you right now, that is something that is very fucking odd. And whether or not it's an alien craft, I don't know. But if you listen to the guy talk about that thing, I haven't seen Air Force pilot, when he was on Joe Rogan, that thing was moving very odd. It was acting very odd, and he was very clear about that.
Very, like, while they're not saying that, oh, that's alien, they are matter of factly saying that's not anything that we believe is possible to come from this planet.
Right. And they're
so
also, and also that thing was actively jamming their radar.
Like, that fact alone, if they thought at all that it was possible that that belonged to another country, it would be a huge deal right now.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a craft jamming our radar from another country
Over the United States in our airspace.
You know, but the whole thing just seems weird. You know, and like Matt said, they've been lying to us.
Well,
they have been. And it's obvious they have been, and this proves it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're not admitting it, but at the same time, they're not denying it. They're typical, modus. Bullshit. We all know it. They know we know it. So what's the fucking point?
Yeah, just let it go.
Maybe that I still think that what do you call it, the Tic Tac thing was a test to see how we would react to that sort of thing. I really do. And I think it didn't get a big reaction, really. I mean, yeah, we're talking about it, but is the general public really talking about it?
Okay, so I don't get that whole theory though, Steve. If that's the case, if they're doing it to see how we'd react to it, and then they're going to what?
Well, then they'll know that the next time, maybe it's a lie. Maybe they're conditioning us to lie to us some more. I don't know. I don't know what the end game would be.
Yeah, I just don't know, because I see it as, if they were doing it as a test, then why wouldn't they tell us anything else by now?
Well,
that happened a while ago.
I don't know. Maybe there's something bigger in the works. I don't know.
You could be right. There could be something bigger in the works. I don't fucking know.
But I mean, there's no reason that they would admit to it when they've been denying it for 60 years, or more.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense why they admitted to, okay, we don't know what this is, but it is real. It's there, because they've never done that before.
Right. It's unprecedented what they said about this Tic Tac UFO.
Right. So there's got to be something more to it and that's why I say conditioning. The boiled frog doesn't know he's being boiled, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what's coming next? Is there more to come? Is it disclosure? Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what their end game is with it, if there was any end game, or if this was just an actual fuck up.
Yeah, but if it was an actual fuck up, the government doesn't react to it by admitting it. When's the government really ever admitted their fuck ups? Come on. Hundreds of years later, maybe, reparations.
I agree with you, but again, it seems like they've done it.
Yeah.
Typically, from my own experience with the media and the way that the government handles the press, this was something done to get out ahead of something.
That's what I'm thinking.
Whether it be something huge and crazy, or just something as simple as, Mexico saying, hey, we're going to go public if you guys don't. Like, maybe they want to be the first ones to put it out there, like, on this scale. There's no telling.
It's clear that Mexican government is a little bit different when it comes to this sort of thing. They've put out videos before on their own. There's a really famous one with the fighter jets, and it was a very similar situation. So it could be. I mean, I don't know who's going to believe the Mexican government, though. Over the U.S. government generally. I'm not saying anything wrong with Mexico. I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, who's going to be believed more? I don't know.
Yeah.
So would that
Either
be
one?
No, I understand that, but the U.S. government has a little bit more clout than the Mexican government, is all I'm
Are you sure, Steve?
Well, not currently, maybe. I don't know.
I wasn't saying like currently. I'm just saying overall.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. But
I think it's been a bag of shit for a long time.
I still don't get why, if they're willing to admit current events like that, why they're still denying these ancient stories that really don't matter anymore. They're at this point, they're just stories. You know, it happened. And so what can we do about it now?
What do you think about fuck Dean Cooper's theory that UFOs are fairies?
Yeah.
Do they wear boots?
Richard loves the fairies.
That's
No,
what
I don't
know.
I don't know. I don't think they're fairies. I think, and I don't necessarily believe they're alien either, but there's something going on. And when I said the government didn't admit that it was a UFO, doesn't mean I don't believe UFOs aren't out there. They are, whatever they are. It's just an unidentified flying object. It's unidentified. We don't know what it is. What happens when they become IFOs, though?
I don't know. Identified flying objects?
Yeah.
Then it's a whole new world, Steve.
But a lot of people believe that when these things are brought to the light and they are alien, then religion dies and all this stuff goes on. And I don't think any of that's true. I think
no, I don't think that religion dies with the realization that we're not alone in the universe. No. I don't think that destroys religion. I don't think that destroys faith. I think it gives us a better understanding. I think any knowledge is power.
You already have religions contradicting one another and saying that stuff all over the place anyway.
Yeah.
But that's the big argument, that's why the government won't release it, because it would shake us to the core and the faiths would all be destroyed. And I don't think any of that's true.
Yeah, I don't.
They would make it work to fit their belief. That's what they would do.
Yeah, they're what are they worried about? You know, the tiny minority of people that will be emotionally scarred by the realization that they're not alone in the universe, they're minuscule.
I think so.
They are a minuscule amount of people. And
even like I said on previous,
to be honest, they're not the cream of the crop.
No, most of them aren't. But even religious organizations now are starting to see that, okay, this is probably true. There probably are other races out there somewhere. I mean, the universe is just too big to discount that fact out of hand.
I mean, I just look at it. Yeah. You look at any type of physical image representation of the universe, it's astounding, the size of it. You know, and then when you look at our place in it and how big our solar system is in relation to this image that you're looking at, it's so humbling. Looking up at the sky at night is insanely humbling. You know, you think about the fact that, you know, above us is just empty space and it goes on forever.
I don't know. Now they have that new theory that it's just like a loop or whatever.
Yeah, actually, David Batdorf sent me that. He shot me that the other day. He's like, "Hey, check this out," and I'm like, "So it's a loop?"
So if we exceed the speed of light by huge amounts, and we leave in this spaceship that can go that fast, and we leave the planet Earth, and we accelerate the entire time. Eventually, we will pass ourselves. If it's a loop.
Theoretically.
But what's beyond the loop?
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's all
so the idea is that the universe is contained anyway. Now, when I say it goes on forever, it's infinite, but infinite in the idea that it's still expanding. The universe is technically contained.
Yeah, see, I can't grasp that concept.
Oh, come on. This is my brain's just starting to stretch. We're not even to the point where it's gone.
I can't grasp the concept of anything that goes on forever, but then I can't grasp the concept of it having a border, because to have a border, there has to be something beyond the border.
It technically doesn't.
But how?
Think of it as a growing organism.
Uh-huh.
So the outer edge is constantly expanding.
But what's beyond the outer edge?
What's it expanding? What's it expanding into?
That's what we
right.
don't know.
There has to be space.
What's
room.
outside? So this is the other theory. The other theory is that our bubble of the universe is just one, and that there are multiple.
Right.
You know, so there's the multiverse theory. There's the idea that we're a simulation.
Bad one.
I like that one.
I know.
I like that one. If this is Sim City, I'm fucking down. I played that shit when it was blocks and lines on a fucking Commodore 64.
So are we AI or are we being controlled?
Okay, so that's the thing. This is where it gets into the weird point. So, and I'm going to talk about the idea that reality is a simulation on Wednesday on Slip Into the Night. But my big thing lately, when I look at life and how things happen and people, and I Matt, you and I talk about it a lot. Serial killer documentaries. I watch a lot of serial killer documentaries, and you watch these things, and you watch these people who investigate these people, and really study them. And by and large, they sit there and they go, you could literally like set a clock if you looked at their life, like that they would finally get to here. Like there's like, and they've had to change that recipe of what it takes or what a serial killer is, and it takes time. The science was newly created, like what, in the fucking 70s, profiling and like understanding these fucking people. But they all say the same thing, that there's this, boom. So because of things like that and other things and things that I've seen in my own life, I've begun to question whether or not free will is a real fucking thing. Do we really have it? And I brought it up on Slip Into the Night last week, where I said, that scene, that the Matrix trilogy beyond the first movie is horrible. It's a fucking horrid piece of shit. But there's a scene in the second movie that I absolutely love, when he goes to see the Oracle and they're sitting in the park and she says, you didn't come here to make the choice. You already made the choice. You've come here to understand why. And I question whether or not we've already made all of these choices that we're going to make, we have made in our lives. That they're already fucking set in play because we started here. And 1 + 1 = 2. And that's where I'm at. And I've been there for a while. I just don't know anymore. I wrestle with it, because I'm not sure if it's the way things are. But the more I look at it, I'm like, do I really? Did I ever really have a choice? And am I supposed to be here? Am I supposed to be here so that I can understand why? I don't know. I've never made any fucking, any statement that I'm a fucking all-knowing person, or that I understand this shit. I don't fucking have any clue. But it's something that's been on my mind because of how I look at the world and how my brain works, and I just I'll look at this shit and be like, really?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, I get why you don't think so either, because I'm on the fence, Matt.
Like, I get to the point of like, okay, yeah, events and things and behavior and reactions, and there's all these different aspects of your life that play a part in like different decisions you make.
Mm-hmm.
So like while it seems like a choice that statistically speaking, you would probably make the same choice over and over and over again. But if there's a 0.0001% chance that you don't, then no, it's not predetermined. And there's parts and aspects of your life that you don't even remember that are completely gone. So how would they play into anything?
Okay, so this is how I rationalize around it. Everything that has happened up to the point of your birth has also been part of this whole equation. Now, let's back up in the universe. Okay, let's back up a few billion years to the Earth is a molten mass of shit, right? Would you say that with no life on this planet, that everything is predictable to some degree, or pretty much any degree if you had a computer big enough to fucking look at it?
No.
No?
No.
I disagree. I think you could totally fucking map that shit out.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
What happens whenever a fucking meteor hits the Earth that introduces a new element?
Because that's also in the whole makeup of everything. It's also in the equation. I'm talking about
a planet exploding that hasn't exploded yet.
Yep.
That sends a chunk of material
to
this planet and happens to strike it.
Matt, it's all part of the equation.
But we're constantly in movement.
Yep.
But it's not a fixed movement.
But it is. It constantly changes, but we always have that same thing.
To us.
No,
yes.
It follows a pattern.
No, we're expanding.
But it follows a pattern.
It follows a pattern to us from our perspective. But
you're telling me that the elliptical orbit of the Earth is not a pattern?
It's not exact. No, not at all.
But it is a pattern.
Currently, yes. That can change at any moment.
Exactly. It can change. But according to the equation. Because something else in the equation changes it.
But that's a variable, and variables aren't part of equations.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Unknowns are introduced as unknowns.
But they are. You're not comprehending the idea that the whole entire universe is part of the equation. You're trying to say, well, what if this thing over here, that thing is part of 1 + 1 = 2?
But it's not, because we don't know when or how things will happen.
I'm not talking about what we know. Forget about what we know.
But nobody knows.
It's the computer that runs the simulation.
Right. It's the computer.
There's not enough atoms in existence to build that computer.
Not in this reality.
Right. Which is the reality that we're working in. But they've already, physicists and people much smarter than you and I about it, quantum fucking people, have already worked the equation and proven that the simulation theory is impossible.
That I disagree with. I've heard.
Well, you can disagree with it. I'm just repeating.
Right. I know what's
you're saying, published.
But what's published, but also there's other people who also have insanely huge brains who say the exact opposite. See, the thing about science that people fail to remember is that science changes constantly. The ideas and theories that were held 40 years ago are not held today in a lot of cases. And the fact that that scientists came out today and said that that the universe can't be a simulation, I mean, hey, kudos to them.
No, it wasn't one scientist. It was a group of scientists that have been working on the problem for years.
If it's a group of scientists, that's great, man. But I'm not saying that it is a simulation. I'm just saying that I've watched groups of scientists change their theories multiple times. And would you say, okay, so here's one thing that you and I may agree on this subject when it comes to scientists. Would you agree that global warming is just a cycle of the planet?
Yes.
Okay. So there's groups of scientists who are saying right now that global warming is going to destroy us.
Uh-huh.
Do you agree with that?
In a technical sense, yes.
In a technical sense.
Whenever the sun grows in size, that's a climate change.
That's insanely long away. We're
But
talking
I mean,
years. No, let's be real, Matt. You agree with me.
Like the normal cycle of the planet? Yeah, of course.
You agree with me on the idea that those scientists could very well be wrong.
If we figured out a way to beat it and survive.
Beat it and survive.
Yeah, the next huge climate change that happens.
I think that if the Earth warms or cools, it's just part of the Earth.
Yep, I agree. I think the current situation is just.
I don't think we're helping the situation.
No, I don't think we're helping.
But I'm saying, like, okay, we're coming out.
I don't think we're going to destroy ourselves.
We're in the warming cycle of the last ice age.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so if we make it to the next ice age, and we are not prepared for that, it could destroy civilization.
Yes.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But what they're talking about is that we're going to burn ourselves to death.
Immediate. It's a more immediate.
Oh God, it's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everybody says it's going to happen tomorrow. It's not. It's fucking not.
Well, they were saying that back in the 70s.
My point being is that those scientists say that, but you don't buy into that. I know damn well.
I know, but you're using that to win the argument here.
I'm not trying to win the argument
because with me that's a political thing.
No, it's not a political thing.
Well, my argument for that would be that those scientists are swayed to voice that opinion one way or another.
I would have to
on either side. Whenever it comes to simulation theory, no money is backing a scientist to dispute simulation theory.
Global warming right now is a huge money maker for certain people. And I have to agree with Matt on the fact that there's a lot of pressure to get the money from those certain people to continue.
I'm just saying the idea, the concept that existence as we know it is just a video game that we're inside of and we don't realize it. Because the movie The Matrix came out, and that's where it came from.
Right? No, I know, and listen, I'm not. You're totally misreading what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I believe that we live in a simulation. I'm saying I question it. What I'm saying is that those scientists who came out with that theory, that group of scientists, could very well be wrong and change that theory in another 10 years.
Yes, if we discover some new element that creates everything that we weren't aware that ever existed. But based on what we know about everything and atoms and everything being the center of everything in existence, it's impossible. Now, if there's something out there other than atoms and we were completely wrong about atoms and everything, then it would be possible.
But that's the thing, though, Matt, is that science is constantly finding that they're wrong about shit.
Well, here's the reason. I mean, we're in a gigantic universe.
Yeah.
How much can we actually really know? You know, if you put that into a number
in our little corner of the fucking pond.
Yeah.
But see, I then that's saying that there's no such thing as a scientific fact.
I would agree with that. Almost. I would agree that scientific facts are very fluid.
Scientific facts based on what we know, yes. But there's so much that we don't know.
Right.
There's way more that we don't
know. So you think that at some point we're going to discover some other element that floats around in the air that we survive off of that's not oxygen?
No, I don't.
You think we're going to discover that we're not carbon-based life forms? Or that it's possible that we're not?
Where are you going with this?
Well, I'm saying based on what you're saying, then it's possible that someday we'll learn that we were wrong about oxygen, that we were wrong about being carbon-based, that we were wrong about DNA, that we were wrong about things that kill us.
No. So you just twisted everything.
No,
you did. You did because Steve just touched on it too.
I did.
Wow. Yeah, you did. It just fucking touched on the whole thing about how.
I think we have a.
You're
good
saying the
understanding.
scientists that say that it's impossible for it to be a simulation theory are basing that on the facts that we know now, and that someday that could change with new information.
But they are basing that on facts that we know now about stuff that we don't fucking understand. The things that we do know, like if I take this and fucking drop it, it's gonna drop. Those facts are real. They stay. They're permanent. We know that this shit it happens. But these guys are postulating. A person who's trying to understand whether or not the universe is a simulation is postulating. They are theorizing. They do not understand all the variables.
They can't.
Okay. Well, I am going to remove myself from the debate with the simple statement that we all fall back on at this point in our lives. Google it and get back to me, because I have.
But I don't get why you're so upset about it. Like that this could change.
I'm not upset about it. I'm just saying whenever I presented your argument in a different subject, you're saying that, no, those facts can't change. But you're literally saying that facts can change because these scientists that I'm talking about are basing it on facts.
What I'm saying is that, and like I said, Steve touched on it. There is so much in the universe that we don't know. So you're trying to tell me that these scientists understand every facet of the universe from one end of it to the other?
No, I'm saying that
they can't, Matt.
Wow.
Is what I'm saying. So how can they? How can
they understand how the structure of substance works based on atoms?
Right.
Do they understand that? Yes or no?
No.
So they don't know that we're made up of atoms.
We know very, very little about the atomic world.
I mean, we literally have fission and fusion.
Yeah,
we know that
we do.
Atoms are the building block of everything.
But we still don't understand it. We don't understand it. We don't understand why an atom has so much space, but yet it's solid.
But what I'm telling you is that based
I'm trying to figure out why we're arguing about this.
Because you haven't read the articles that I have, and you're trying to argue against them.
I'll read them, and I'll still have the same opinion. I'll guarantee.
Okay.
I'm just saying I will, because I know how I think about things, and I know that this is a subject where they're postulating and theorizing, and yes, they are taking things that are known, but there's a lot of unknowns in these when they postulate or theorize about these things. There's a lot of huge unknowns.
At this point, anything scientific is a theory, because, as Chris says, and as I stated, there's so many unknowns, but there are certain things that we know. Earthbound science about Earth, the things that we know on Earth, is pretty solid stuff. I mean, we live here, we know what goes on, right? It's when it goes beyond that is where we're clueless as a race of people, because there's no way for us to know what's going on anywhere else.
I just know that we just don't, there's still things in the universe we don't understand.
Lots of them. There's still a lot of things on Earth we don't understand.
Yeah.
But we have a good understanding of a lot of it here, because, I mean, that's what our scientists do. They study that stuff. So they have obviously a better understanding than I would, or you would, or even Matt would. But I don't think we're a simulation, by the way.
No, I'm like, that's the thing. I'm not like trying to fucking, lead the charge that we're a simulation.
I understand where both of you are coming from. We're probably not a simulation, number one.
Yeah.
But some of those facts will change over time, one way or the other. So the scientists who came up with the "we're not a simulation" theory are going to change some facet of that eventually. It maybe not be changing their whole theory altogether that we're not a simulation. I agree with them. But there will be some things in there that will become known in the future that sort of thing will have to be added or taken away. That kind of thing. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Matt, was that the one where they had the thing? What the fuck was it called? They were trying to measure something.
No. I read several different articles.
There was an article that I did read, and they had not come to a conclusion yet. But they were trying to measure something on the earth. It was, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'd have to go back and reread the article.
This had to do with computing power and how there isn't enough
computing power to be able to do it
in existence to do that. Because you're not just talking about we're a simulation.
You're talking about everything's a simulation.
Everything's a simulation.
Yeah. But then it begs the question of, if we are the simulation, then everything that's beyond us could very well be nothing.
No,
it wouldn't need to be
running the simulation.
It wouldn't really need to be rendered, just shown.
Somebody would have to be out there that built it, though.
Right. Correct. But the other thing that I think of too, when it comes to like computing power, is the rate that technology increases over time. And I remember the guy who sold me my first computer. My first fucking PC. Tell me if you remember this line. You'll never fill that hard drive.
Yeah.
That hard drive was 10 gigabytes.
I don't even remember what my first one was.
My first.
I don't even think it was gigs.
It was fucking 10 gigabytes. And the guy goes to me, dude, you will never fill that ever. And I constantly think about that one line. It's like, you had no idea. No fucking clue. And that was in 96. And that was like a top of the line hard drive. That was like one of your higher end big hard drives, was a 10 gig hard drive. And now what can you get? Like a 10 terabyte or some shit now?
No, they've gone beyond terabytes.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So that's why, I get what you're saying completely. And I get that. And listen, there's guys they're fucking smarter than me. I was watching, have you ever watched The Universe series? It's on Netflix right now. They've got all kinds of people on there. Tyson's on there, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and all kinds of other fucking people. But I was watching through that last night, and I mean, it's fucking crazy, dude. Like, what we know and what we don't know about this universe. What we think we understand and what we kind of know. Like, the thing that scares the shit out of me all the time, Matt, is the solar shit. Like the sun.
The flares and stuff.
Yeah, they think they understand that shit, and they're constantly saying, we don't know. We don't know.
I don't think solar flares cause anything.
Well, they're constantly fucking worried about it.
I know. But, like, they claim it knocked out power one time or something, but they don't know that happened. It's just something that happened at the same time. What if that's where I go. Like, I go from, like, the solar flare is not the cause. The solar flare is the sun reacting to the cause. I still think we look at such a small scale that, like, it screws with us. So, like, if you had, like, a huge tidal wave of EMF energy just rippling through space, and it got close enough, or, like, at its peak, it was close enough or something, or a splash of who knows what. It could cause a distortion in the sun. It could cause problems here. Maybe not EMF, but like some form of energy that we don't even know about.
Right.
Like, I get what you're saying with there's a lot of unknowns out there. So is like, yeah, the sun is constantly spitting up solar flares and everything, but does it really affect our electronics and like?
Right. What really needs to happen? Well, I hate to say this because I don't want it to. I don't think any of us want to find out. But what needs to happen is we need to find out. Like one needs to hit, and either something needs to happen or
Dean Cooper says that we do know that solar flares take out power stations. Really big ones have melted power lines. So how does a solar flare on the sun cause an increase in electricity running through power lines?
Yeah, see, I personally don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But what I do know is that they constantly warn us about these things. And I've yet to see anything happen about it, but scientists are constantly saying this is a danger. You know, this is something that could, you know, basically take humanity back to the Stone Age.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah. I mean, we've all heard the doom and gloom, but you know, are they right?
And if, you know, if Yosemite blows, we're all screwed, at least half of us.
Yeah, like,
I
think all of us on this portion of the contiguous United States. I think if Yosemite goes like from that whole half over is gone.
Yeah.
That's a fucking big caldera volcano.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've all heard the, you know, the doom and gloom fucking stories of, you know, what if, or I mean,
there you go, Corey. See, Corey said it. Panic equals funding.
Yeah.
And I agree 100%.
Yeah, and I completely agree. They do it to us all the time. They keep us in fear. Fear is a good tactic. Be afraid. Sell shit. People go out and buy shit. Remember with Y2K?
Yeah.
Do you remember the fucking Y2K scare? How crazy people went? I worked at the time. I worked at Walmart, and I watched shit fly off the shelves. Fly. People were so worried. Water, bread. It was generators. People went crazy. Fear mongering is a big business, huge business.
And I didn't understand that whenever that was going on.
Yeah.
I was like, how does a computer shutting down for a moment? Like, what? You're telling me that it won't be able to understand the clock, so it's gonna like just break itself? Like, I was running programs in chat rooms to like fuck with people's hard drives by saying them audio commands that their computer, you know, would error on because like it didn't have an answer.
You little hacker, you.
Well, I'm just saying, like, and it was like the same concept. Like everybody I knew,
hackers with a fucking big boner, didn't you?
No, I'm just saying, like, I knew like fucking 16-year-old kids that had their own server set up in their fucking bedroom to fuck with people.
Oh yeah.
Like, and like all of these guys, all of the hackers who I consider some of the most intelligent people whenever it comes to computing, we're all like, yeah, that's bullshit. They're just trying to cash in on it. Like, there's no way that would happen. Like, computers aren't designed to fail because we don't understand the date and time. Like,
I think a lot of it was, do you know how when computers came out and everybody was so worried about viruses and Norton's came out?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had to go buy Norton's.
Yeah.
Because Norton's was the best thing to have. Yeah, well, Norton's turned out to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That nobody really
I spent like $100 on it whenever I first got my computer, and like all it did was like break my computer. Like it was the virus.
Yep. It would slow your computer down. There's a they prey on your fear. You know, this is going to happen. And I mean, it's a sad story. It really is. You know, go ahead, Steve.
I got to get going.
Okay.
I've got some family drama going on. Yippee!
Oh, have fun. See ya.
So I have to take my leave, but I wanted to let you guys know before I just dropped out.
All right, see you, man.
Later.
But the fear mongering that's been going on in this country, and I don't see it anywhere else.
Oh, it's there.
I mean, I don't see it like to the. I mean,
I don't think it's used other places like it's used here
Right,
for a
that's what I mean.
capitalist purpose.
right for in other places it's used for power.
Right. Control.
Right. Here it's used to just fucking give us that dollar.
If you don't have that, you know, like this could happen.
You're missing out.
Yeah.
You know, the whole like the fear thing is another division tool too, which I fucking
absolutely
hate. I fucking hate division tools. You know, there's no need for it. Like, let's just try to solve issues and problems and fucking get through this shit together. Why do we need to be like, fuck you? Fuck you. I don't understand that shit. I don't get it. I've never understood it. I've never understood why, you know, we gotta fuck you over. Like, why can't we just fucking all get to the same place together?
Well, in the end, we're all screwed. Like, none of us have any place to go.
Yeah.
So why make each other miserable during the process?
It's just, to me, like I said, why people can't just sit down and work the shit out instead of, you know, doing this back and forth, you know, this is you're what's wrong. No, you're what's wrong. No, fuck off. Let's just all have fun, enjoy ourselves, and fucking live on the fucking planet together, for fuck's sake. You know, stop fucking pointing the fucking fingers. We all don't have to live in fear. I'll never forget that first fucking ride I took across the U.S. when I was 17. It was right before I turned 18. And I realized like how undangerous the world was in comparison to how dangerous I thought it was. I was just like, wait a minute, isn't as bad as I thought it was? Like
well, that's the thing for people who think the world is like this huge dangerous place. It is less dangerous, but then there's the opposite where people who don't think it's dangerous at all don't realize the dangers that are actually out there.
Right. And there are inherent dangers and there are places that you shouldn't be, you know, going, or there's some sketchy places. Yeah, there are, you know, but by and large, if you go to anywhere USA, in another state, in another section of the country that's far removed from yours, you're going to see the same type of people, the same type of lives that you do where you live.
Yeah.
But we're convinced by media and everything else that they're different down there and they're different over here and they're over there. They act like this. It's just it's so untrue. If I came to Oklahoma and I walked around your neighborhood, like I'm not used to like city, you know, you live in Tulsa, I'm not used to a city, but I'm sure it's going to be very similar.
Other than like the businesses that we have here that you don't have there, and like the basic geography, you know, like nobody's going to know the difference.
Not a bit.
I mean, if you talk, somebody be like, "You're not from here."
Yeah,
you know.
I open my fucking mouth.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's just people.
Yeah. I when I went to Arizona, you know, I was baffled. Like, I was just like, oh, let's go do this, because we just did like willy-nilly shit when I was there. And going around and checking out some of the places and seeing the people, it was just like, this is no different. It just, the geography, the scenery is different.
Yeah.
But we just get so convinced that those people over there are different. And another thing that they do, and I hate to do this because it brings up politics, but they say, well, they vote differently there.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I fucking hate. They vote differently there. Fuck you. Fuck you. I hate that shit. But I totally, I don't buy into the culture of fear, but I buy into the fact that there is a culture of fear. And it's bullshit. It's so stupid. So what is the Kecksburg UFO? Did we ever figure that out?
It's a re-entry vehicle for a
GE
intercontinental ballistic missile. Yeah.
62-400.
Yeah.
Mark 7. On that fucking note, this has been the Fortean Slip episode. I don't even know what fucking episode it is. 107. Some shit. If you like this shit, hit the little thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave yourself a comment, people. Subscribe. Check out Matt Knapp at youtube.com/bigfootcrossroads and Cryptid Tales. Be kind to Matt on his channels. People are dicks. So be kind to Matt. Check us out on Anchor at anchor.fm/the Fortean Slip. Downloads are really good this week, and I wanted to thank everybody. It is rocking. We are doing very well on Anchor. Check out Richard's comic strip, Bigfoot with Keith and Colin on Facebook. Check out Mr. Phil Poling over at youtube.com/parabreakdown. And as always, check out our good friend, the Comic Expo and Comic-Con shuffling man, Fred Dunn, Dred Funn at youtube.com/Dred Funn and dredfun.com. We will be back next week with another episode. I have no fucking clue what we're going to do at all, but we'll do something. Until then, see ya!